Let's go out to the voicemail of Truth and Reason, because this caller, wants to address one of his grievances and one of the big problems that he has with the Cleveland Browns heading into 2022.
And as for the quarterback, wide receiver situation, can we agree that that's our problem? All the reasons, including injuries, tackle positions being missed, I still think quarterback is the problem. Example, take a look at what Cincinnati did with the line play that they had. Burrows just got beat up unbelievably, and yet they won unbelievably. Take a look at what Baltimore did. Their top two running backs out for most of the year or all the year, receivers missing, quarterback play rotating, but yet they had a much better year, and I truly believe it was the explicit quarterback play that allowed that. So I just want to know what you think about it, and go Browns, and let's hope we have that situation resolved. Thank you.
Now, Ashley, I know that it's easy to see Baker didn't have a great year. Let's be honest about that. He didn't have a great year, but at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit of an oversimplification to just blanketly say it's the quarterback's problem. That's it. There's no other answer there.
Yeah, I think when we talk about the Browns this season, the passing game being broken is not a controversial opinion. I think anyone with two eyes, even if you don't know anything about stats or analytics, if you're just using the eye test, it was broken. But for me, it's always been about, it's easy to say it was broken, right? But why was it broken? Was it broken because Baker Mayfield was playing with a bad shoulder and that greatly impacted things? Was it play calling? Was it how much 13 personnel they were using? Because you look at, they use 13 personnel more than any other team in the league. They throw a lot of 5 and 6 yard passes to tight ends, and that tight end room needs beefing up too. Also, going back to my mock draft, that's why I had them taking Ruckert out of Ohio State, because he's a guy who I think has some room to grow there and really showed that side of his game at the Senior Bowl in a way that he didn't get to with the Buckeyes. So I think that's also a part of it, right? And if you're looking at the play calling, like, why are they using that much 13 personnel? Does it have to do, again, with Baker Mayfield's injury? Did Kevin Stefanski think that was the best way to kind of try to push this thing along while Baker Mayfield was still playing? So I think there are a lot of factors to consider with why the passing game is broken. And once you answer those, you're kind of on your way to start solving the problem, essentially. And I'm sure these are all questions that already have answers in the building, or that they're going to be working to answer this offseason when Baker Mayfield can get back to, in full swing after having that surgery on his torn labrum.
Yeah, and plus, it helps in Cincinnati when you have 3 guys that are taking the first 3 rounds of the draft, and you have an all-pro tight end with the Baltimore Ravens as well. So it helps to have weapons there that are actually taken high in the draft at that point. But surprising, again, yeah.
I was going to say, too, I'd take issue with the premise that the Ravens had a better season than the Browns this year, because they had a really tough season. Now, you look at their passing game, obviously, it's a little different. They lost Lamar Jackson for the back half of the season. They do have a really solid tight end in Mark Andrews, but they still finished behind the Browns in the division, in the standings. So we are maybe looking back with rose-colored glasses a little bit at their season and the year they had. But the Ravens are a team in our conversations that come up repeatedly, because they're not going to have those same injuries this year. They're going to have those running backs back. Their secondary is going to be back intact. So there's a totally different Ravens team that's going to be waiting for the Browns this year. But that's why it's extra important that the Browns solve their own issues, right?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely spot on. But